Unit 6, Lesson 2, Defining the problem. Then we will describe what is meant by defining the problem. And we will give an example of how a problem might be defined in a PBL situation. Defining the problem. This step involves understanding the problem. The learner must be encouraged to explore the problem. In general, novice learners do not try to understand the underlying principles of the problem before applying their knowledge. Traditionally, learners are taught to apply a procedural approach which cannot be used in all situations. Therefore, we must teach learners to question and inquire before reaching a solution. During defining the problem, the learner must be encouraged to think of needs rather than solutions. The learner should be encouraged to ask relevant questions. We've provided some guideline questions you can use to encourage the learner. Some sample questions. What do I know about the problem? Information can be in the form of facts, which are definite pieces of information that cannot be disputed. For our cash flow example in Lesson 1, facts might be that 20% of our sales are cash sales. Inferences. These are assumptions we make on the basis of reasoning. For the above example, the inference we might make may be that our domestic customers do not require credit and bring in immediate income. We have a higher rate of business customers because we offer better credit terms. Speculations or opinions. These are assumptions we make based on our gut feeling or experiences, and there's no reasoning behind them. For the above example, speculations might be the reason for the poor cash flow problem is due to poor forecasting. You might also ask the learner to try to understand what is relevant. As often, there's a lot of information presented and not all of this is relevant. Therefore, the learner needs to filter out what information is relevant to their situation and what is not. The learner also needs to understand what they need to know to help them understand the problem more. This details what information is missing. For the above example, we might need to know what is the procedure for managing and ordering inventory and how does it relate to customer demand. Another question you might ask is, why does the problem exist? Or what are the potential causes of the problem and what effects do they display? The potential causes of the problem discussed in Lesson 1 may be due to our low level of domestic sales, which results in a delay in receiving cash. Our credit terms, as they are longer than those offered by our suppliers, thus there is a deficit. Our forecasting techniques, this might be due to lack of planning, which results in ordering too much inventory. Our inventory management policies, which are impacted by lack of planning and excess inventory. Sales teams, customers might be expected to bulk buy, which might not be conducive to domestic customers. Another question you might ask is, how does the problem impact other areas of the organisation? This facilitates systems thinking, which we spoke about in the earlier units. For the previous example, cash flow might be seen to be a finance issue. However, it also impacts purchasing, warehousing and sales. Why do people operate in this manner? You might need to understand why inventory is managed in a particular way and why the procedures do not encourage forecasting or customer collaboration. Frequency of the problem, or how often the problem occurs, may enable you to understand it further. From our example, we can see that the company had a cash flow problem 8 out of 12 months in the financial year. Why does this problem arise so frequently? What happened differently in the 4 months that did not require an overdraft to the other 8 months? What months was an overdraft required, and was there any events that could relate to the overdraft in these months? When did the problem occur, or when did it first arrive? Did it coincide with any particular events? From our example, when did the customer first start experiencing the problem? Did anything in the company change during that time? Was it when sales started increasing or decreasing? Was it when the ratio of business customers versus domestic customers increased? Was it when our suppliers changed their credit terms? Or was it when new financial regulations were introduced? In the next lesson, we will look at how to support learners during steps 1 and 2, clarifying terms and defining the problem.